believe South Dakota needs leaders that they can trust, who will fight for what is right, fiscally conservative leadership, and leadership that is active, focused on problem solving. I'm a good listener, and in my life I've discovered that there are basically two types of people: those who talk and talk and talk about a problem, and then there are those who see a problem, roll up their sleeves, put aside politics and personalities and partisanship, and just try and figure out what the solution is and then get the job done. I take pride in viewing myself as one of the second type, that get the job done, that solve the problems, and look beyond personalities and politics. For 34 years I've been doing that as a business lawyer, and as a state senator for the last 7 years I've been doing the same thing, looking for problems and trying to find solutions. All of my life I have been a problem solver. In 1995, when I served as Chief of Staff, South Dakota faced a property tax revolt. There was skyrocketing property taxes. Taxpayers were extremely angry. The new administration came into office in 1995. We devised a 20% property tax reduction. I was the principal architect of that process. We adopted also a format which limited the growth of property taxes at state or for counties and cities, and adopted a mechanism that has reduced property tax rate for school general fund taxes for the past 14 years. This was a huge problem. We managed to solve the problem. Also in 1995, our school funding formula was in a real mess. It was very difficult to understand. It rewarded expenditure rather than efficiency. We adopted a totally new funding formula in that 1995 session that has stood the test of time and has, with minor changes, continues to be our basic funding formula for public education in 2009. At that same time, we found that in Pierre we had adopted dozens of statutes that made no sense, controlling local school boards, and hundreds of regulations state government had adopted, again all restricting the ability of local school districts to run their schools in a way that best served their communities. As Chief of Staff, I was part of repealing those dozens of statutes and hundreds of rules that now permitted state or school districts to have local control and really tailor their programs to their local needs. In this last year, I was the prime sponsor of the new open records statute, which, while preserving the privacy and confidentiality of those records involving citizen information, where citizens had a reasonable expectation of privacy, but basically put open the expenditure side of government and opened hundreds or thousands of records so that the taxpayers, the citizens who really own the government, can see what their government is doing. And I think we're going to see the fruits of that open records as citizens are able to understand more clearly what their government is doing.